Hi, it's Cindy from Quilter's Cupboard in Ankeny again, continuing with our purses for our 2015 purse party. This one I showed you last year. I made it, I thought it was a great purse. I didn't really know how really fun it was. If you've seen any of my teaser videos, I featured this one in it. And it's called the Pasadena bag. And it is a great bag from, just drew a blank, silly me, a Quilter's Dream. And I like this bag. First of all, it's 6 fat quarters. That's it. Takes you 6 different fat quarters to make the bag. It's a little bit, so you know, mostly we cut squares and rectangles and we put them all together. This one does require pattern pieces. So that's why I didn't push it quite as much, because I thought, oh, that's going to be a little bit harder. But it has been one of my best bags to carry. I have enjoyed it a lot. So this is my purse that I'm carrying right now. That's how come I know it's so great. One of the fun things, absolutely love the shape of the bag. So you can see it in a couple different fabrics. My pretty batiks that I did. You know, it looks, you go, oh, that's kind of cool. And then when it opens up, you've got all this room because these lovely little gussets open up. So I'm going to do a close-up in just a second for you, but I wanted to show you my new one. And this one is a 6-pack that we've put together of fabrics. And again, it opens up. It's just a great bag. New group from Riley Blake with buttons or spool ends and measuring tape and just all sorts of fun things. I want you guys to look. I don't know if you can tell, but my new bag has a little bit longer handle. This one, great bag, but honestly, I can't get it up on my shoulder. It just doesn't work out for me. So this one, I made the handles just a little bit longer, and it's going to be a much nicer fit for me. So that's where you're adjusting. You can make them even longer, but then it becomes a 7 fat quarter bag instead of a 6, or 6 1/3 of a yard to make some longer handles. So come in closer and let me show you a couple really fun things on this bag. And now we're going to take a look at the inside of the Pasadena bag. Really like the way this is done. We've got some good sized pockets in here, but my favorite part is this little hidden guy. Great for your cell phone. I added a little bit of extra design detail with just a little contrast strip on there. The way she has you cut the pieces, you actually have pieced your lining, so you've got just that little bit of extra strip in there. Like this one a lot. Now I could have put a fastener on it, but if I did that, then I would have needed to move my pocket down just a little bit. So this one I've used the Dreamy in, because it's got a little bit more body. I also decided that I was going to do a little bit of contrast stitching on there as well. Got a little board with that one, so now we got a little feather stitch on that side. I like the way that these gussets work. Look how that, isn't that just cool? Gives that great shape bag. And then when you fold it up, it is neat. Now this one, I told you, you have to trace off. This is called Swedish tracing paper, and you can actually sew it up as well, but it's very inexpensive, $1.50 a yard, and this is what I used to trace off my patterns with, and it's a product that we carry here in the store. All right. So, we're going to move on to, oh, I wanted to tell you about something else, another tool that was really, really exciting. Oh, batting tape. I don't know if you guys have used this before. So when I went to make this bag, when I went to do my handles, because I needed I think a 5-inch wide strip of fusible fleece for my handles, I didn't have that big a chunk. You know, we end up with all these little pieces. Now, I never encourage you to use up scraps you have. Always come and see me to get all fresh stuff. But middle of the night, I'll let you get away with it. So this is batting tape. So I can take my scraps of batting and fuse them together. Now in my mind I went, now how am I going to fuse this onto a fusible batting that's then going to stick to my ironing board cover? If you watched a prior session, you're going to see, as I grab this again, my tracing, what is this called? This is called a pressing sheet. Yay! It came to me. So the pressing sheet is great because I can put this underneath. I can fuse this onto the top of my batting strips, piece it together, and it just peels off. So you don't have to worry about, because you know these fusibles, they can ruin your iron, they can ruin your ironing board. So the applique pressing sheet, sometimes I'll even bend it in half, whatever, but it's a really nice tool. But this I love, because when I do a big quilt, I always have that little extra width left over. And in the end, you can end up putting those together. This works wonderfully. We've talked about the inner foam, which is that foamy thick stuff, which there's no way really to connect your scrappy pieces, because if you do the zigzag thing, you've now made a divot in it because you've squished all the air out of it. So this works very well too, but you have to put it then on both sides so it doesn't have that little bend. But the batting tape, highly, highly recommend it. Okay, so we're going to pause a second, but I need you to visit the website. It's www.quilterscupboardiowa.com. You'll see all of the first party patterns and products I'm talking about in their own little section. And I'll be back in just a second. Thanks.